Peace, peace, peace. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. For those of you who don't know, it's your boy Vic Slang Hope. And I come back with another Rikers Island story time. And this one is about my first day in adults. I know y'all probably been waiting for it. Shout out to my boy. I think it's William Moore. I'm not so sure. I'm sorry if I get it wrong. But homie that called me Toothpick Vic, man. Shout out, man. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, this is my first day going OT, man. First day going OT. And before I get into it, let me give you a little history of OT, right? So OT usually means old timer, I think. So when you turn 19, well, back then, when you turn 19, they move you to the adults. So technically, you grown now, right? You're an adult now, and they move you the moment you turn 19. They get you out of there because they don't want. It's crazy because it's like they be trying to protect themselves from lawsuits, and this is why they kind of like separate the adults from the adolescents. But it's like, I don't know. I just turned 19, right? So it's like, whatever. And sometimes they used to get like ages mixed up. Like they'll have 15-year-olds in Rikers Island that are not supposed to be there. They're supposed to be in juvenile. Or they'll have people that be like 20, you know what I'm saying? Like they mess up they birthday or whatever. So, it was a lot of little confusion stuff, and people used to be catching lawsuits or stuff like that. So I remember it was this 15-year-old boy. He was on the island and he got his jaw broken or something, and he was 15. So like he got some cash because he wasn't supposed to be there to begin with, So OT, right? So OT is an old timer, and it's crazy because when we was in adolescence, the adolescents used to have this thing where they used to say OTK, like they used to be like, I'm a OTK, like I'm an old timer killer, like like it used to be mad funny because we used to be yelling out the window. They used to be like, OTK. I never really got into that. I never really did all that. You feel me? But it used to be mad funny. They used to be like, OTK. Or they used to be like, yo, SMD. Like, you know what I'm saying? For those of y'all, for those of y'all who know what SMD is. So they used to be wilding on the window, like yelling out the window, like, OTK. OT to my, You know what I'm saying? Like, they used to just be wilding, right? So it's funny because we didn't really mingle with the adults. Like, when we came out the house, we went to school. So the only time we got to really mingle with the adults was in the visit floor. So when the adolescents would be in the visit floor, it used to be some of them older dudes. They used to be on the visit floor like, yo, which one of y'all little niggas was talking all that OTK shit? Like, what's up? Like they used to be pressing people on the visit floor. So it used to be funny because like I don't recall of anybody saying like, yeah, it was us. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like it was just like people used to be like, I don't know. Or they used to be like, but I don't know. Again, I don't know if it really went down between any adults and adolescents on the visit floor. But people trying to see they visit, but usually they used to do that after the visit. People have their visit, and then when they leave the visit, they used to be like, yo, which one of y'all little niggas was talking this OTK shit? Like, and they'll be looking at dudes or whatever. And but I never heard of a situation transpiring in the full building behind the OTK stuff. But this is just something that adolescents used to say. So like sometimes it used to be mad funny because once you go OT, they used to be like, damn, you're an old head now. Like, people used to be joking like, damn, you're not one of us no more. You're an old head now. Like, so that was just like the whole scenario with like OTs, right? So anyway, that day they came and got me early in the day. Like they got me early in the day. They packed me up and I was like, damn, like, like I don't know what was gonna happen. Like I'm about to go to I don't know if I was gonna stay in the building. I wanted to stay in the building because this is where I've been, which is the full building. I wanted to stay there, but then I was just like I thought I was gonna stay there. I thought when you go OT, when you go adults, they leave you in the building, but that's not the case. So, and I found out later on that day. So I was like, okay, so I'm thinking like, oh, they're just gonna still keep me here. I'm still gonna see the same people. My mans is still in the building. So I thought that's how it was gonna be, but nah, they had me on intake all day. I ate like all three, except for breakfast. I ate my 2 other meals in intake. So I was there the whole day, like, and then they moved me out the building. So they sent me to the Beacon. So the Beacon is one of the newest buildings on Rikers Island. Well, at least at the time, it was one of the newest buildings. They had closed like HDM in like the 90s, and I think in 91, I think they closed HDM, which I heard was a very violent jail. Like, and then they opened the Beacon. So the Beacon was also like a supermax of the island. Like out of all the jails on the island, the Beacon was like a maximum facility. Like it was no dorms in there. So they moved me to the Beacon. So I'm like, damn. So I went to the Beacon, and then when I was in the Beacon, I was in intake, for a little while too. So And then when they finally found what house they're gonna put me in, they put me in 9 block. So 9A to be exact. So I'm like, or 9B. I don't really remember. I think it's 9. I don't know. But anyway, they put me on 9 block. So I'm like, damn. So when I get to the house had it's 2 tiers. It's like the bottom tier, like like the prison shows y'all be watching. It's like the bottom cell. It's like 50 cells. So it's like bottom tier and there's top tier. You walk up the steps or whatever. So I was on the top tier. I think I was on 35 cell, if I'm not mistaken. And I was next to a Muslim brother. So, I don't know, I'm kind of like nervous, it's a new building, it's adults, I don't know nobody here that I know, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's almost like going to jail all over again. So so they told me like, yo, your cell is up there. So they kind of like tell me like, yo, go up there, straight down to the corner. So I'm like, all right, cool. So, I got my stuff packed up, and usually when you pack up your stuff in jail, you usually put it in your comforter. What will be your comforter? They give you like this little whack ass comforter in jail, and that's usually where you throw all your stuff, your sheets and your cup, your towel, your commissary, whatever clothes you have, you throw it in there and you fold it. You fold one corner with the other corner, and then you fold the other corner with the other corner. And then you just pick it up and you throw it on your back. And this is kind of like how you moving through the building. This is how you pack your stuff up. So you literally pack your stuff up in the sheet. Like, you put your sheet on the floor, you dump all your stuff in there. You tie it diagonally from one corner to another corner, then the other corner to the other corner, and then you just throw it on your back and you on the move. So if you got mad property, if you was one of them dudes that had a whole bunch of clothes, a whole bunch of commissary, you know what I'm saying, you getting them legs strong. You feel me? So anyway, I get to the house, and when I get to the house, like, usually when there's a new dude in the house, like, everybody be looking at him, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, sometimes people just be looking at you, they look at you briefly, and then, that's about it. But it was this one white dude. He was from Newburgh, too. Well, he said he was black. He used to keep saying he was black. He was biracial, I guess, but nah, he was mainly white. So he had like green eyes and shit. It was like green or hazel, whatever. They was like green and brownish. Like, anyway, he happened to be Muslim too. So, but he was staring at me like the whole time, and I'm just like I'm walking in the tent and I'm just looking around, like, cause people looking up at me or whatever, and I'm just looking or whatever, and then he was just like staring at me, and I'm like, yo, what's wrong with this dude? But later on, I found out he had like a little staring problem, like, but I used to tell him, I'd be like, yo, bro, stop doing that, bro, like, cause you never know how somebody might take that. But anyway, so he's just staring at me, and I'm just like, oh man, like, in my mind, I'm just like, I don't even know this dude. Like, I feel like in jail, if you got the guts to stare at somebody for that long, I feel like you either got a banger or you just tough. You got to be tough, right? So I'm just thinking, like, I don't know. I'm just trying to process this. This is really staring at me. So I'm like, I don't know, man. So anyway, I'm walking to my cell. I go to my cell. I put my stuff down. I don't really remember much of what I did that day. Then I remember I came downstairs. I probably tried to get on the phone. And then, yeah, like, then I got acquainted. I don't know if that same day I got acquainted. And, I started talking to brothers. Sometimes you see certain things that identify as a Muslim. And then you might salam them. You might be like, oh, assalamu alaikum. Or whatever. And then, like, they'll be like, oh, you a brother? And then they'll be like, oh, all right, cool. They'll be like, yo, this where the Muslims sit. That's a brother right there. That's a brother right there. So this is usually what happens in jail. Like, if you blood and you come through, and they always ask people if they banging. Like, this is the thing with black people. Black people is always on, like, you banging, like, that's like off rip, like, and that's like the saddest thing, because everywhere I've been, like, the Spanish people, they always being the people to look out. You can say whatever you want to say about Spanish people, but the Spanish people usually be the ones, like, once Spanish people find out you speak Spanish, it don't matter what complexion you are. You could be red, purple, blue, green. If they find out you speak Spanish, they embrace you. Like, they be like, you one of us, like, you feel me? Unless you do some other stuff and move otherwise, but they will embrace you. Spanish people will definitely embrace you. They'll be like, you hungry? You need shower slippers? You need soap? Like, this is the type of vibes that Spanish people be on. Black people, you banging? What block you from? Huh? Like, you know what I'm saying? And it's sad. It's sad that we move like that, right? But anyway, the black folks, they'll be on you. They'll be like, you banging? You know what I'm saying? And if you blood or whatever, they'll be like, oh, yeah, the homie sit over there. We got this phone. So they basically let you know the situation, who got what phone. And the irony is that this house, when I came to this house, they had a Muslim phone. So there was a big ock in the spot, and he was like, he was one of them renegade ocks. Like he was a gangster, you feel me? So he was like, yo, we got a Muslim phone ock. Like, you know what I'm saying? If you need to use the phone, you can use the phone. Like, he was respected. I ain't gonna lie. He put in that work too. So, you know what I'm saying? He was from Yonkers. So he was like, yo, ock, you know what I'm saying? You need the phone? We good. You know what I'm saying? You can sit right here. He got me a chair. You know what I'm saying? So it was cool. It was cool vibes, So when you get to adults, it's like they got different tables. So they got like circle tables. They got like these colorful circle tables. Some of them might be green, some of them might be blue, some of them might be red. And they got chairs. They got plastic chair with arms. I probably should have gave you a visual. I'm sorry, I apologize. But they got plastic chair with arms, and they got plastic chairs with no arms. So everybody wants chairs with arms and want to sit comfortable. So, but usually the people that got the chair with the arms be the gangbangers, or be the people, whose status is up. So, but that's the politics when you go to them houses. Usually you don't get a chair with arms. People used to fight over the chairs, get cut over the chairs. Like, it was a lot of stupid stuff. Like, the chairs symbolize like a symbol of status. If you had like 3 chairs, if you was sitting on like 3 chairs, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's crazy, but like, it's still mad oppressive. Because sometimes a dude will be sitting in like 3 chairs. And the crazy thing is sometimes they give the house only like 50 chairs. Like, it's 50 people and they give a house like only like 50 chairs. And one of the dudes, most of the time it usually be a blood dude, because there's a lot of bloods in jail. So if you're in the blood house, usually it will be one blood dude. He might be sitting on 2 chairs or 3 chairs, right? And then it's like, nobody gonna go asking for a chair, because like the moment you asking for a chair, it's almost like it's disrespect. Like, so it was kind of crazy, like, behind the chair. Sometimes people, you know what I'm saying, they wanted to avoid problems, so they wouldn't even, sit outside. Like, they wouldn't even be outside themselves alone. Like, so it was just, so this is just some of the stuff that's going on. When you go to the crib houses, sometimes it be usually like that too. Like, it'll be a dude sitting on like 2 chairs, 3 chairs. But again, like, it's not a lot of crib houses, So anyway, so yeah, they had the chairs with no arms. So, and then they had the chairs had some fake status symbol. So again, like, there was like rows. It would be like five tables on this side, 5 tables on this side. It would be like a empty space in the middle. But like, usually it used to be like 4 people per table, because if you have more than 4 people per table, like, usually it'll be too crowded, like too much. So, and sometimes some houses will have like 4 blood tables. Some houses will have 5. So it depends. Like, they call blood houses, but that don't mean that it's predominantly blood in there. Sometimes it might be only 5 bloods. When they call them blood houses, it's usually because like Crips don't live there, or like when they go there, when they pull up there, they get cut or they get packed up, they get up out of there. So that's why they usually call them blood houses, meaning Crips can't live here. And Crip houses usually is like, it might just be one Crip in a Crip house, but this is a house that usually they will move Crips here, eventually when they start coming in. So they'll call them a Crip house, but it don't mean that they got mad Crips. Sometimes it might just be 1 Crip or 2 Crip. And I've seen that before. So anyway, this was the case. This is what's going on. This is adults. It's a whole different ball game. Slot time. The phone shit is serious. If you thought it was serious in adolescent, in adults, phone time is serious. Like dudes was definitely getting hit with that jack. And the crazy thing, in adolescents, in adults and OTs, people used to take the receiver off the phone and just leave the cord hanging. So sometimes you used to see that all the time. And the crazy thing is the CO don't care. Like, the CO see them doing that, he just don't care. Like, some COs, they're going to tell you, yo, you got to put the phone back. You can't do that. And then some COs just be scared. Like, they be telling the CO, yo, shut the fuck up, mind your business. And the CO just go sit down and mind their business. So it was crazy. Like, and then if it's different gangs in the house, so let's say it's Bloods in the house, there's Patrias in the house, there might be Kings in the house, and let's say like whatever, right? Now, all of them dudes might have a phone. And usually, sometimes you might go into a house and the Bloods got 3 phones. It's crazy. Like, sometimes you go into a house, it's mad Bloods, and then the Bloods got 3 phones. And they might have 1 phone that the whole rest of the house use. So it was very oppressive. It was crazy. But that's not all the time. And then, you got cool Bloods too, right? But I'm just giving you the dynamics. Sometimes the Bloods might just have 1 phone. Sometimes the Bloods might have 2 phones. Sometimes they might have 3 phones. Some houses, they got all the phones. But usually they used to be a Spanish phone. Like, the house I came in, there was a Muslim phone, there was a Spanish phone, there was a neutral phone, and then there was like a blood phone. You know what I'm saying? So like, the Bloods only had 1 phone. And the crazy thing is, the phone thing is a status thing too amongst the gangs, cause like when we used to go to the yard, like the other blood houses used to be like kind of like trying to put pressure on the bloods in my house. They used to be like, "Oh, y'all niggas is soft over there. Y'all only got one phone. How many bloods over there? Y'all only got one phone." So sometimes the dudes in our house, they was a little, they had a little more sense. So they used to be like, "Nigga, half of us don't even get on the phone. Like, I don't get on the phone. I don't care about no phone." So some of the bloods used to be saying that. But the other ones used to be like, "Nah, we ain't trying to hear that." Like, and that's another thing. In jail, sometimes they don't care, like, about the logic. So it might be some blood homies, they might not be getting on the phone or whatever. Or it might be some Crip homies, they might not be getting on the phone. But it's still like the status of, that's my phone. That's a Crip phone. Or that's a blood phone. Or that's a Patia phone. Or that's a this phone. So the phone shit is definitely serious when you get to adults. So yeah, it was the phones. Usually usually there's a pantry worker that's in the gang, that kind of like, so the food gets controlled. On chicken day, they used to be like, usually, again, like I was in blood houses for some time, and I also was in some Crip houses. So my experience in blood houses, sometimes they would take the chicken day caused the most problems in adults. Chicken day, but I probably should make a separate video about chicken day. But anyway, so yeah, I'm in adults now. This is adults. It was crazy. My first day there wasn't really that crazy. But everything is about status. Everything is symbolism. How many chairs you got. How many phones you controlling. What time you let people get on the phone. What time you tell people they got to get off the phone. How many calls you got. How many PIN numbers you bought of somebody. How much money you got. And another thing I used to think when I first got in there, when you get to adults, you start to see more people with cuts on their face. Like in adolescence, you don't really see that. But when you get to adults, you start to see a whole bunch of people with cuts on their face. But funny thing is, it's not always from cuts in jail. But the crazy thing is, that's what I used to believe. Like when I used to see somebody with a blast on their face, I used to be like, damn. Because the movies and all the stuff that I done heard. So I'm like, damn, the motherfucker got cut. And I used to be thinking like, damn, I wonder why he got cut. Now, a little history about getting cut in the face. Like snitches get stitches. An old timer gave me some little game, right? And he was telling me how back in the days, if you was a snitch and they cut you, he said they'll cut you in the face to mark you so that the rest of the people will know you no good. Like if you was a snitch, or if you was a snake, or like, or like a rapist or whatever. Like they said they used to cut people in the face, give them $1.50, and now this how they marked you so everybody else knew not to fuck with you because you had a cut on your face. So this is why they were saying snitches get stitches. The snitches get stitches thing, it was like because they was blashing, they was cutting the snitches. And then when people seen you in jail and you had a cut on your face, they was like, you no good, like I ain't fucking with you. But yeah, some of these dudes had cuts from the street, but it's funny because I still look at people that way. Even though a lot of people was cutting people in the face just cause, like that still kind of like stay with me. Like if somebody went out their way to cut you in the face, like I be thinking like, yo, what did you do? Like I be thinking like what's up? But then I also know the history of like Halloween days and shit that was going on in the street, right? So, but but yeah, that's adults. That was just like a brief introduction of what was going on. Another thing I did when I went to adults is like my first search in adults, like the security team ran down on me. So when you come from adolescence, they put pressure on you, like because they already think you got a certain mindset. You was just wilding over there in the full building, and now you think you're gonna be wilding over here. So the security team ran down to my cell when I had a search one time. But I think, matter of fact, I'm gonna leave that for another story time because they was trying to smoke me that day. But anyway, but yeah, that's adults. I'm gonna get into some more stories because there's a lot of stuff that happened in adults, and I was in adults for like 25 months or more. But let me know what y'all think. Like, comment, subscribe, share. What would have been some of y'all thoughts, But let me know what y'all think. Word. Peace. Stay tuned though.